I think we got everything to a point where we can legitimately drop the front subframe. Got air conditioning, all drained properly. We're unbolting the transmission support right now. And we just broken loose the main subframe bolts. So we're gonna drop this down on kind of a jerry-rigged one large pallet, 2 furniture dolly setup. This is very OSHA approved, want to ring now, but it should work just fine, knock on wood. Yeah, let's get this small 2-liter engine out, and so we can get ready to drop the 480 horsepower engine in. Okay, so it should be free. Famous last words I know, but we should just go up very nice and gingerly. Okay, all right. Ready? Oh, we have to do the shock towers. Oh shit. Yeah, let's move it back down. Yeah, drop it. Yeah.
You remember what size they were?
No. It was heavy on the front, so it just eased out on the back. What is that?
That was a ground. That's okay. We can fix that. So that's what was holding on to it. Yeah, you're good. All right.
Yeah, that was just a ground, don't worry.
Whew. All right. Keep lifting here.
Clear?
Keep going.
Yes! That is a massive transmission. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, now let's see what kind of a pain in the ass is it to move this thing. So this is our milestone from yesterday. We got to drop the front subframe with the engine and the transmission. Of course, like I know a transmission is a big item and it's important, but I didn't realize it was this large, so they're heavy. Also, since this is an all-wheel drive car, you've got the transmission, and then back here you have the transfer case. So the transfer case, at least in this specific example, again, I do not know much about many cars. You've got the drive line that comes out here that goes to the rear wheels, and then what you've got transferring here is you've got a gear that sends power to the front. So that's how it works. So when you think of an all-wheel drive car, at least in the example of the BMW, you actually have the front wheel drive being powered, I mean basically like underneath where the driver, in between the drivers and the passengers sit, and it has to get propelled forward that way. I always just kind of thought it happened underneath the engine somehow, but clearly that's not the case. All right, so there's a few things that are kind of on my mind that could be problematic today. Now, I think we've solved most of the big problems, but I'll walk you all through it. The first is I got an Instagram message from Nick Pritchard, who you heard me mention before. He's the person who made the very first F81 M3 Touring in the UK. And he's been awesome. He's been texting me like, hey, make sure you do this, make sure you do this, don't forget about this. And one of the things that he mentioned, we're gonna go check out the transmission tunnel, is there's apparently one of these panels in here, and I don't yet know which. I have a hunch it's this one, but one of these needs to come out. And so, I believe it is because we are going from an all-wheel drive car to a rear-wheel drive car. And I've also seen this from another person on Instagram saying that this was a big pain in their butt and they had to it basically wasted 2 of their days. So thank goodness for the BMW community for helping me save some time, hopefully, even though I don't quite yet know what I'm gonna be doing. What we're doing now, and we're gonna spend the rest of the day doing, is making sure we get as many little bits and parts taken off the car, effectively with the mindset of, if we're gonna take this place for it to get painted, is it that stripped down? How the fuck does this...
What just happened, David?
So, hey, there might be a little extra coolant in your reservoir when you take it off. Just a friendly warning to pretty much any car that has lane change warning. So either you turn on your turn signals and then it flashes at you when you've got a car in your blind spot. This is what those sensors look like. So I believe they're some form of radar, and it reads through your bumper, and it just senses if you have cars in proximity off of your blind spot. So there you go, that's what they look like. You've got one on each side. And then again, all these different harnesses. So this is gonna come off, the rear crash bar is gonna come off, and then this sensor here, which is kind of interesting. It is the comfort access for the rear hatch, or the rear trunk if you have a sedan. Part of that 6:30 a.m. worry was, hey, this thing's not going to be able to drive, obviously, and it probably won't be able to roll. So we built a chassis dolly. And so we just lowered it for the first time to see if it was going to explode into splinters or hold up. And so far, so good. I'm thinking maybe it would have been smart to have 2 additional casters. We could have had 6, but these things are rated, I think, at like 500 pounds each, something like that. So that, with the really thick wood, we should be in great shape. Knock on wood, haha. We haven't moved it far yet, but we've just sort of swiveled it around, and it glides really easily, so that's looking nice. So we got it off the homemade chassis dolly. We got it back up in the air. These are the gas tanks, so it kind of, you've got the drive shaft and it splits in between it. So we're gonna take these down. We're gonna then be able to disconnect these hard brake lines and the power line over here. I did find out that the regular 3 Series has different power than the M3, so I mean, we were gonna strip it off anyway, but now it's especially important to take this thing off. Yeah, so we'll drop these emergency brake cables down some more so we have access to everything else, and this puppy's just gonna gingerly fall down. Awesome out of 10. Okay, Phil, we're gonna need you. Okay, ready? It's definitely heavier over here. What about this?
Yeah, just let it, it'll come off.
Okay.
It'll come off on its own. Just drop it.
Okay.
Or is it not?
No, it's coming. It's coming. Just oh, good idea.
I'm putting it over here to my side. There you go.
Wow.
This we want. This is storage. You'll see a lot of people put meth kits in this for you know, making your car go fast. This is the rear diff protection off of the wagon. This we don't want. It's like 25 pounds, totally unnecessary. We're not going to bolt anything to it, so it's gone.
Angle grinding for dummies.
Really good.
We got a first time angle grinder guy out here. Great success, check it out. Hey!
Really good.
I'm pretty sure the way he's holding that is not ideal.
Maybe it would have been smart to have 2 additional casters.
Was that the caster snapped off in the?
That's looking nice.
We now have a new jack situation after the epic crash, and now we feel somewhat confident that it's going to work and we'll have a rolling chassis.
This morning, when I woke up and I was afraid about moving a chassis around, I noticed online that Eastwood makes a chassis dolly. And I was thinking, that would probably be the right way to do it. But we made our own, and it broke. And I don't have time to order from Eastwood or frankly anybody else for that matter. And so what could have been roughly a $300 purchase that would have been perfect for moving a stripped BMW 3 Series Touring around has turned into like 3 different trips to Lowe's and Home Depot and Harbor Freight to make whatever this is. And we're just hoping that the combination of about 1 million different casters, some wet wood, some used to be wet wood, and you know, some Omar ingenuity is going to get this car supported so we can move it into its dry home in the corner here.
Ooh, just barely. Yep. Yeah.
Then we want to go farther back.
Yes. Yeah. That's
For sure.
Can you push?
Yep.
Alright, so probably anything right there.
I feel like that's going to be good.
I feel like that's good, but let's do another up front.
OMG.
Fucking job.
Right there, stop.
Yes! Oh, good job, guys. We did it. Holy shit, it is now definitely time for a beer. Isn't that called the Portland Speedball?
Yeah, triple threat. You gotta slam espresso,
Yeah.
drink a mini Dr. Pepper, and then a tall boy IPA.
And then your food is McMiniman's tater tots.
And then rail wine.
I'm really happy where we're at. It's not as far as we thought maybe we'd get, but sometimes you gotta shoot a little short to be safe, and that's what we did today. So We successfully got the car in its little alcove home. It's on our very like shade tree mechanic chassis dolly, which thankfully is holding. And if I come back tomorrow night and it's just like this, I will be ecstatic. Got a bunch of parts, and basically the game plan now is enjoy the rest of my Dr. Pepper that's been sitting out for like 3 hours and this nice cold beer, thanks to Phil. We'll clean up so we leave the shop in a good space and get to relax tonight before a busy work week. And then I'll be here every night just like taking parts out of the interior of the car. So huge thanks to the guy holding the camera, Jake Szymanski. Follow him on Instagram at Jakesy or Strava. He's a big cyclist. We got Omar in the back. He's been like the #1 mechanic out of all this. And then Phil Kirkland, our spirit animal and all around organizer, beer getter. And so this crew will be back again together in a week, 2 weeks. Make it happen. Also, big thanks to Green Drop Garage for hosting us. We are paying rent, but we're very appreciative to be able to do so. And then Ryan with Dynasport Portland. So Dynasport PDX, he just like came out as a buddy and helped us, and I'll make sure he comes out again. I'll make sure he comes out again and helps us when we try to put all this back together.